Hey, folks, what's going on? Happy Tuesday. My name is Jamel Tony. Glad to see you all today.
Hey everybody, I'm Lakeisha, and thank you for joining Progressively Becoming. It's been a while, y'all. It's been a while. As you're getting on, as always, make sure you like, comment, and share, and let somebody know PB is on now. We are in the building tonight, and we are getting it started 7 p.m. sharp. It's so good to see y'all. How y'all doing out there? How's it going? How's it looking? Like I said, it's been a while since we've seen y'all, but we good to be here today. It's good to be here. Hope y'all having a good day. Cass and Todd takeover was last week, so if y'all missed it, you missed a treat. So go on and take a listen, go take a look, go take a watch on all of our social media platforms. And if you haven't subscribed to all of our platforms, shame on you. You can see us here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and on our websites. So but how y'all doing? Make some noise. How y'all doing out there? As we're still trying to get
We're trying to get acclimated because
situated.
because somebody about 8 minutes ago raised the level of my pressure so high,
And vice versa.
and so I'm trying to get my face together because it's always the ones that you love that they know the right button to push at the right time.
Hmm.
And she's not saying anything. She's over here humming, right? And this is what they do. But I love her. But she got on my nerves about 8 minutes ago. She got on my nerves.
Well, he's still on mine. I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
And you know
Ain't no
something?
got. He got, and he's still
I
on
really don't
my
care.
nerves.
I really
That's
don't.
all I
I
wanna
really
say.
don't care.
He's still
No, I
on
really
my nerves
do
right now.
not care.
But nonetheless,
I
this
don't
is
care.
not about
No,
you and I.
it's gonna be about us.
It's-
All right, it's gonna be about us.
It's not about us and our nerve picking that we have done in the last
Up to 8 minutes ago.
90 seconds
8
prior.
minutes ago,
It wasn't no
she-
8 minutes.
it
It was
was. It was
90
seconds.
seconds prior
She
to
struck a nerve.
us having to say, "Hey, y'all."
She struck
So,
a nerve.
y'all, I'm working through it as we speak.
work through it. Work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling, because the Lord ain't pleased.
The Lord ain't pleased.
The
with
Lord
you,
is
sir.
not pleased.
You done got on his nerve. Anywho,
In any event, family, who's our moment? Anybody that's been married or is married know exactly what I'm talking about. It's always like right. It's like right. It's just at that right moment. In any event, do us a favor: like, comment, share, tag a friend, tag a family member. We have made some interesting adjustments to our lives, and that is always exciting. And I'm excited to be with you all. Shout out to Timecast. If you did not watch last week's the takeover, please go ahead. What did they say?
Yes, brother Christ.
What did they say?
Moments.
Brother, moments before. It's like you gotta preach, and then it's almost as if the devil just uses her.
What? Wait a minute.
Stop being used by the devil. That's it. Stop being used by the devil.
Hold on.
Stop being used by the
Wait
devil.
a minute. Let's not get it twisted, because you perk and irk and just irritate my nerve prior to a lot of things happening. When I have to go forth and do praise and worship, you will do something or say something that will irk me.
No, it's
Yes.
no.
And
I
today,
say
you will
something-
say something or do something that totally irked
No,
my nerve.
no, because
right
no,
before
no.
we got
No, here
on.
it is.
You.
The problem
You
is
you
you
are
don't
the
like
problem.
correction. That's the problem.
You
You
are the
don't
problem.
like correction.
And you don't like when the problem
you don't
is
like.
you.
I ain't the problem.
You
and that's
are
the
the
problem. I'm not the
problem.
problem.
And that's
I'm
the
not
problem,
the
that you
I'm
don't
not the
think you're the problem.
I,
and you
I
are
know
the
what
problem.
the problem is.
You are
and
the
her
problem.
name is Lakeisha Tony.
You
Do me a favor, family. Please like, comment, and share. 'Cause I'm about to walk out. I'm about to walk out.
You are. He don't like when the problem is him.
Family, please
I can't.
just like, comment, and share. Thank you. Tag a friend, tag a family member.
You
a
can't even
family-
say family member. Family.
And then
That's
and
what
then-
happened when you be telling lies.
And this is what she does, right? She then talks about my speech impediment.
Ain't
She
nobody
know
talking about
you know I have a speech impediment, and then when we're in an argument, you always throw up the fact that I can't speak right.
I'm just trying to correct your verbiage.
All right. So,
I don't want nobody out here making fun of you because you saying family. First of all, I don't even know how you could say that. Family. It's family, sir. Family. Anyway, how y'all doing?
family on tomorrow.
On
Tomorrow. Because you know,
that's that
in
church
church,
talk right there.
everybody say on tonight.
On tonight.
On family on tomorrow.
On tomorrow.
6:30. If you're in the Philly area, come out, join us in prayer. 6:30 to 7, and then at 7 p.m. Those of you that are nearby, come out, join us for our in-person Bible study. For those of you that are our Virtue family and partners, meet us at 7 p.m. on the Discipleship University page as we relaunch our Discipleship University. I'm excited about that. It is the place of exchanges version of Bible study, and it is Discipleship University. We are relaunching that and getting into the groove of things, and I'm excited to just share with you what it means to be a disciple of Jesus Christ. And so again, that's tomorrow at 7 p.m. At the ending of every session, we're going to take 15 minutes to answer any question that you may have. And so some of you may have seen the post up. If you have any question, whether it's about Jesus, God, relationships, life application, whatever the question is, I want you to go ahead and ask us that question. We will not be afraid to answer it. And that's going to be done the last 15 minutes of every session. We're going to take some time out to just answer any questions that you have. Because family, really, people have questions. And I don't think people are not getting the answers that they need. People have questions, and so we want to help you answer those questions. Bro, I am on PB.
Is that Jesus?
No, it's Alonzo Tony.
See, now had he been on or following us, he would know that we on at this time.
It's probably Bryson calling me.
No, it's Alonzo, because he don't know that we on. Alonzo.
See you guys Thursday for morning devotions at 6 a.m. Sunday, you know how we do it. I'm excited about this, family. It is 8, 6,
you are giving
7,
out
10.
All the announcements. You took up all my
I did take up all your time.
No, you took my job. That's what I do. So you trying to be like me?
Nobody is trying to be like you.
Whatever. You trying to be
Nobody.
Like it's something because you can't be like me.
I can't.
I'm an original.
You are definitely an original.
Whatever.
You see that?
Anyway.
She stuck her finger up at me. Yeah? You see? And this is why I stay on my knees in prayer.
You was not saying stop
Lakeisha Tony. This is why. Family, let's get to it. I want us to pray and just think about those that have been affected by Hurricane Helene last week and even up until this moment and for the years and months to come. Total devastation in some parts of the country. And so I think we should start off just talking about that.
Right.
You want to take it off? Take it over?
Sure.
Let's get to it.
Wow.
Like, comment, share, fam. Let's get into the conversation.
So last week, Hurricane Helene slammed the Gulf Coast and particularly the Florida Panhandle. But it didn't just impact Florida. Hurricane Helene impacts were seen over 300 miles inland. So it impacted North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and parts of South Carolina. And 138 people as of now have been confirmed dead in 6 states.
138.
Yeah, in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. And with over 600 people still reported missing. And at the height of the devastation, more than 2 million homes lost power. Currently, there's still 1.5 million homes and businesses that do not have power. So it's been devastation. We've, seen the news. You've seen some of the, videos and things like that. Certain people that we know that our family lives in Georgia, they're currently without power and, gas. And it's just heartbreaking to see. And, if you want to support the efforts that are going on, you can visit North Carolina Disaster Relief Fund. They also have Florida Disaster Relief Fund. You should also know about the Salvation Army and the Red Cross. Red Cross is helping those with reunification efforts.
And
so
that's big. Yeah, that's.
Mm-hmm. So big. If you need assistance locating or connecting with a loved one because of the hurricane, you can check with the Red Cross. They'll be able to assist you. I think there's a link that we were gonna try to put up for you guys.
Yeah. So after tonight's conversation, we're going to put a link up, various links that if you know somebody that may need these resources, please by all means go ahead and just share with them the link. However you can do so, especially with that again, families have not heard from each other down there. My brother-in-law was telling me that there was one, I forgot the city of North Carolina was completely wiped out. The mayor, he spoke about it today on the news. And he pretty much said the city is wiped out. All of the businesses, all of the buildings was just wiped out. Over 50% of the homes was lost. And so it's crazy how the meteorologists, everyone said it was going to really attack Florida. And Florida was, parts of Florida was devastated as well. But no one talked about North
Yeah.
Carolina, and parts of Georgia,
Yeah.
and so definitely, family, our prayers go out to them. I'm going to say this: there are many opportunities in which you can donate. Please do your research. We'll post some well-known places that you can donate. And I know a lot of times people don't give towards efforts like that, but just think if it was you. You
Right.
know, I would want someone to help me in my time of need. And so whether it's $5 or $3, whatever, $10, whatever you can give, just give it. Because if everybody says, "Hey, I'm going to give $5, I'm going to give $5," and I hear you, we don't know where the money go. Half of us don't know where our money go. We pray it's going to the right place, right? And so, but just go ahead and donate. There was a story of a man in Florida right before the hurricane. A news reporter interviewed him, and this man in Florida, he was scared because he had no flood insurance. And when we went to New Orleans, a resident in New Orleans told us that flood insurance is so high that most people cannot afford it. In addition to flood insurance being so high, many insurance companies have pulled out of the state because it was costing them money. Right? Yep. So the ones that are left, the premiums are so high. The guy was like, I don't have any flood insurance. And he said, I don't know what I will do if I lose my home. Right. They caught up with this guy after the hurricane, and he lost his home. And his exact words was, I don't know what I'm going to do next. And so, family, if we have any heart of compassion, let's just pray for everybody that's been impacted. Right. Everybody that's been affected, and we pray that God would give them the grace, the wisdom, and the strength and the resources to rebuild their lives. Can you put in the comments this morning? Rebuild this evening. Rebuild. And so that's our spill. And so hopefully we can go ahead and donate to those.
So, y'all know how we discuss a variety of things here on PB. So we would be remiss if we didn't talk about what is going on in our home state, New York City, our borough of Brooklyn. If some of y'all didn't know, we from BK all the way. I tell people now, they ask me where I'm from. I say New York, and I just live in Jersey. I know they were like, "Oh, you in New Jersey?" And no, I'm from New York. Always will be. That's my city. But anyway, New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
Somebody help the mayor.
Has been indicted on 5 federal charges, including bribery and wire fraud, related to soliciting campaign contributions from foreign nationals. Just to give you a little summary of the indictment, it's spanning back to 2014. So it was during his tenure as Brooklyn Borough President. And the indictment claims that Mayor Adams accepted luxury travel and benefits from a Turkish official in exchange for influencing decisions, such as pressuring the New York City Fire Department to open a consular building without a fire inspection. So U.S. Attorney Damian Williams stated...
The same U.S. Attorney that is going at the P... That's going at the P. Diddy.
That's going at the Diddy.
P. did it.
P. did it.
He did it.
Diddy did.
He did it. Allegedly, but
allegedly. You don't want to get sued. Allegedly, U.S. Attorney Damian Williams stated that Adams was aware of these contributions, and he was aware that they were illegal attempts to gain influence. Adam, who is set to appear in court, he was already arraigned, urged the public to wait for his defense before forming opinions and emphasized that he would continue to do his duties as mayor. His attorney argued that the alleged actions occurred years before Adams became mayor and insisted that there was nothing done illegally. So Mayor Adams held a press conference. We did see that. He was denying all allegations and adamantly telling the media he is not resigning and will fight the charges. Mayor Adams was backed by the New York City Clergy Coalition that spoke about how his accomplishments and spoke how they vowed to stand with him. He was also seen in a few days after that speaking at numerous churches across the city. I saw that as well.
So here's the question, family. Do you think Mayor Adams should resign?
Wait, but Jason, you said you don't believe it and it don't even matter. I'm curious to why you say that. But yeah, do you think he should resign and why?
What do you think?
Well, so I just think
Ma says no. Carter says no.
I don't think he should resign because I think he give him a chance to.
Jason said yes.
So prove his case. I don't know.
So
I just think it just looks bad on the city. I mean.
So is the resignation because he's currently? Let me say this. As Jason said, is the resignation because of a block on his integrity, or should he be resigning because, as they are saying, it will be difficult for him to fight this case and lead the city at the same time?
I mean, I don't think it'll be hard for him to do both because first of all, he got attorneys. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. I just think as a leader and an official, I think it's going to be harder for people. Like, people right now is already divided that they don't trust him. Yeah. And even if, you don't have his side of it, it's just the mere fact that these charges have been outlined with dates and receipts and stuff. And it's going to cause you to wonder, like, well, did you really do that? And if you did, that just causes a stigma on him and his character. So,
I'll say this. If somebody sees me flying Delta first class, it's difficult for me to say that wasn't me. And here's the issue. Mayor Adams is not denying that he took those trips. Mayor Adams is denying. Well, Mayor Adams is pretty much saying that he didn't have a right. That he was not responsible for disclosing those trips. Mm-hmm. And right. when he realized that he should have, there's evidence showing that he tried to hide it, or he tried to, pay it off secretly, or he tried to, clean up the paper trail. Right. Personally, I think he should resign.
All I'm saying is when the feds come after you, they got something.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
So the chancellor of New York City, he's retiring, quote unquote, resigning at the end of this year. But he's resigning because he's intimately acquainted with one of Mayor Adams' top aides who had their home searched as well, and she resigned. Right? And so you got the commissioner resigning, you got some Staten Island chiefs resigning, you have 4 top officials in Mayor Adams' camp. They are resigning as well. I think he should resign.
But then again, look what happened with this reminds me of Governor Cuomo. When he had all that stuff going on, the man was forced to resign, and then eventually nothing happened with that. Because they dropped the case. And it ruined the man's career. He done. The man's career was ruined. Okay. That's all I'm saying. It's just like in that situation, he resigned, and then nothing happened after that. The case got dropped. None of that.
I don't think the issue is whether he's guilty or not. The issue is you are a sitting mayor and you have been indicted because there's overwhelming evidence that you did this. Resign.
Well, look at this crazy President Trump. He ain't resigning. It's the same thing.
We're not talking about Trump. Resign.
It's the same
Resign. And the issue with Mayor Adams is I don't want his pride to get in the way. Because, family, I'm going to say this. This is what really upset me. Is that when Mayor Adams held that press conference, I saw all of those clergy, some of which we know some of these guys that stood behind him. And I asked my wife, I was like, did any of those pastors read that unsealed what was it? The unsealed indictment. Mm-hmm. Did anybody read that before they decided, oh, I'm gonna stand behind this man?
Or it could be that maybe if I know you personally and I know who you are, that I'm gonna give this a chance for you to defend and clear your name, because I believe that you didn't do it.
And I completely get that. But I will stand and I will call you and be like, hey, you know something? I'm with you. I'm supporting you. I'll play the best for you. But I'm gonna wait till this play out in court. Because what I don't want to do is say, oh yeah, he's innocent. He didn't do this. And then all of this stuff comes out that he did do it. The Bible clearly tells us, do not put any trust in the flesh. The arms of man will fail us every single time. I'm not saying he did it. What I'm saying is the evidence against him is so overwhelming. It is so overwhelming that he's the first sitting mayor in New York City to be indicted on bribery, corruption charges, and misuse of.
And I just feel bad for the whole situation, because I'm very familiar with Mayor Adams as far as his career go. I remember when he was a cop, and it's just like, to see his career, expand and go from, police to borough president and down to mayor. And it's just like, I feel that however this plays out, like his career is going to forever be tainted and labeled by what's going on now. And I mean, you can see the history behind that with other politicians. Whatever happens with this, whether he's cleared, whether he's not, he is forever marked by what's going on. Because
it's always going to be those that say, "Oh yeah, he did it."
Oh yeah, that was the mayor that got indicted for. It's like you're gonna always hear that, and he's gonna be marked by that stigmatism. Yeah. But let's ask y'all, like, how did y'all feel about Mayor Adams being backed by the clergy community? I don't know if you guys saw that, but there was a good bit of, clergy behind him when he had his press conference. How do you feel in reference to that?
And I think what kind of got me going was this U.S. attorney. This U.S. attorney is not playing. This U.S. attorney is coming out to say, if you're doing wrong, I'm going to catch you. And my fear is that all of those clergy leaders that stood behind him, the U.S. attorney is going to be like, hey, you know something? Let me look into that person. Let me look into their use of church funds. Let me see if that church is compliant. Let me see if that church is following the letter of the law as it relates to being a 501c3 nonprofit organization. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't want us. I would hate to see people raise their chests and be like, oh no, this person didn't. And it's just like, and then you put a bullseye on your back, and they catch you for things that you shouldn't be doing. Because I'll tell you, politicians raising money, government leaders raising money, you will be surprised how much money is funneled through the black church. And there are a lot of churches that are using the mask of a nonprofit to benefit themselves. There are a lot of pastors that are using the nonprofit 501c3 to benefit themselves. I've seen it. Oh. Right? And I would hate for those leaders in those churches to now all of a sudden be put under a microscope, or because perhaps you didn't operate with the best of wisdom. Right? Yeah. And so that's just me. Be careful. Be careful and do the right thing. And if you ain't doing the right thing, as Lavery says, do wrong. Right. Do wrong.
And then I answered you with about. We talked about do you think his career can survive this?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it'd be a great story. You know, if he's found out to be not guilty, I think.
Well, he gonna be the first.
If anything, I think it would elevate his career. You know, he fought the charges. You know, black man fights against the government and wins. You know.
Well, I hope I hope that it plays out like that for him. You know, I think he should stay and fight. If he innocent, stay and fight and prove yourself.
Stay and fight and prove yourself.
That's what I think.
All right, fam. So that's, again, praying for those that was affected by Hurricane Helene. Mayor Adams, Godspeed, brother. I pray God's best for your life. I pray all ends well, as it should be. Whatever it is, will be. God's grace cover you. And God covered New York City.
Yeah, and I just think maybe we should do what he's asked.
Just wait for it to play out.
And don't form judgment. Because a lot of times I know the Lord says you innocent until proven guilty, but it's the other way around. You are guilty until you prove that you are innocent.
You are guilty until you are
that's how it is.
That's our government system, family.
You
so
are
again,
guilty.
Let's hold up New York in prayer, family. Let's talk a little taboo.
That was cute. Okay, y'all. Question for y'all. Need y'all to participate. Don't be scared. When should a leader be sat down in church? When should a leader be sat down in church?
So, to be sat down in church is when you have committed a sin or a violation, morally, ethically, spiritually, and the pastor and or the governing elders advise you that you have to sit down from your duties. You have to take a seat. You have to sit down from the duties that you are a part of or over for a period of time deemed by that pastor or governing elder. And I think we all have seen this. So when is it, or rather, when should a leader be set down in church?
Or leader, or I would just even say like a participant in something, because maybe you're not the leader over it, but you participate in that. Okay. And it's like with me growing up, and those of you that grew up,
Jay said immediately, I would think.
And it's like when I was growing up, the only time I saw that happen was when a woman or a girl got pregnant and she wasn't married. That was the only time I saw someone get sat down. I didn't see any other kind of discretions happening where the person got sat down. It was only when somebody got pregnant.
So and it was then only some type of sexual sin.
That you could see.
That you could see.
Yeah, because a lot of folk was around there having sex, and I mean, we in your room, we can't see that, but the moment that you got pregnant, we can see that now. So now you got to sit down, and then some of them had to, get up and apologize to the whole church. Like I did something to the whole church. Not me personally, but I'm just saying, like you did something to the whole church, and you had to get up and apologize for that. But you didn't see that with anything else.
So Sister Carter said a sin, and it got to be 2 or 3 witnesses. Thank you, Sister Carter, for bringing up that. I'm going to talk about that scripture now. Jay said after an apology to the church, Marlon said when he or she is out of order, not following biblical principles. And Michelle said if he or she is not doing right. So everybody would bring up, as Sister Carter just brought up that scripture, right? Scripture in Matthew. It says if your brother or sister has sinned, go to them and point out their fault. Just between the two of you. If they listen, all is well.
Right.
But if they do not listen, take 1 or 2 others along so that the matter will be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still refuse to listen, go tell it to the church. And if they refuse to listen even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or a tax collector. In other words, treat them as you will one of them persistent bill collectors that keep calling your house. Leave them be. Shut the door on them. So that's what Matthew says in the book of Matthew about this particular issue. My problem with when should a leader or someone in position be sat down in church? My problem is what you just said. Is most of the time you only see that when it comes to some type of sexual sin and they are pregnant.
Right.
The problem I have with this is that I've never seen someone sit down because of gluttony. I've never seen that.
Or you a lying wonder.
Lying wonder.
We all know you a liar. You know, or we just they got a lying spirit. But you know, we just don't take what they say at face value. But you still doing what you do. Mm-hmm. Why you ain't getting sat down?
Correct.
That's the part I don't get. It's just like, what sin trumps this sin for you to sit me down?
Pregnant sin that we can see.
You knew,
that we can see.
You knew the person was living with somebody, and you knew that. You ain't sit me down. We come together. Now I'm pregnant. Oh, whoa, where'd that come from? Get out of here. Get out of here.
This really brings up, and to answer Avarice Country question, biblical principles is standards and principles in which you take and apply to your life, right? And so for example, a biblical principle is seed time harvest, right? If you sow, what goes around comes around. Whatsoever a man reap, that shall he also sows, right? That's one biblical principle, right? And I think that's extreme. That if you're not following biblical principles to that, even though we've seen this happen, right? My issue is I think there's a bit of hypocrisy when it comes to this, and we sit people down for sins that we see. You know, the two biggest issues and reasons why people are set down, I'm gonna tell you right now. Because the sins that we see, you ready? Is when a person is pregnant, and when a person is, and this may take us a whole nother time, but I will pull it back. When a person is pregnant, and when a person exhibits some sort of homosexual desires and or actions. Because those are the things that people see. But like you said, we don't see that they lie, that the pastor lies. We don't see that the church mother got a judgmental spirit, right? And she mean to everybody, and the truth be told, she needs to be sat down. Because she mean, and she cruel, and she nasty, and she talk about people.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And so I
with that usher, you nasty.
Yeah,
why you still ushering?
Yeah, I think when it comes to being sat down, I do believe there's a responsibility for the leadership to hold people accountable to a standard. And if you cannot follow the standard, then perhaps you should not be operating as you're operating, right? I think before it even gets to that, you should sit your own self down. Hey, you know something? I'm not right. I know I'm not doing it right. Let me sit down, not for punishment. And this is the issue.
Right.
Because many people have sat down out of punishment.
It's a punishment.
Correct. And there has been no type of reconciliation or no type of behavior change or no type of instruction for that person. If you're going to sit somebody down because they are operating outside of biblical principle or operating in sin, at least have the wisdom, the wherewithal to say, hey, I set you down because of XYZ. Now let me help you deal with XYZ. We've set people down out of punishment and pressure from others, and we have disregarded the humanity and the truth that, hey, you know something? That's a human being that falls and sins just like we do. How can I help them out?
Right, like the women that would get pregnant and they used to have to, be sat down and then get up in front to apologize.
And that's embarrassing.
That's humiliating. That's humiliating. So
Absolutely.
it's like I have to, now I'm sitting down for my pregnancy, and then when it's over, I get to come back. Okay, what's different?
Yeah.
Like what was the purpose of that? Like what's different? What was I supposed to learn out of that?
Yeah.
Do they still do that today?
I think so. Yeah. I think a lot of churches still do this. It's probably not as widespread as it was. And if you ask me, I think that's a danger as well. Because now perhaps we're just letting everything go
because we don't want you to leave.
Because we don't want you to leave. Right. And so I think the extreme was this, but then it's another extreme where we're not saying anything. And I think somehow we've got to get into it. But I told my wife this morning that there has got to be a level of accountability that people have to God and to the ministry that they are in, right? If people are ever going to move forward. And the problem is people aren't accountable to God, right? And so we set them down as punishment, and they got back up and they did the same thing. Right? Right? We embarrassed them. We humiliated them. The whole church now know their business. Right? And we set them down and did nothing for them.
Right.
But just sit them down, and they got back up after. And even again, who determines how long you sit down?
Right.
Is it after I give birth?
That's what it was.
Yeah, so no.
That's what it was.
And
Lydia, they did. They used to come back. You know, they were still there. I mean, in the time when it was happening, where I was.
Yeah.
You know, they would still be there because that was their church, their ministry. So,
Salvage said. So wait, isn't there a pastor in some state who has a husband? Yes. Did he get set down? No. Or was that acceptable? In their eyes, yes. Is that the same thing that we are talking about? In a somewhat, right?
Yeah.
I think it is. It's acceptable for them. Right? So yeah. The late Pastor Eddie Long got set down. He wasn't sorry about it either. The pastor offered him a chance to repent, and he was very humbled about it. Yes, afterbirth apologized and got back to their post. Yeah.
Yes.
Again.
Again. Yeah, and it's just like
it's terrible.
I just remember that, like, because I seen, plenty people had to do that, and I just thought it was so like just humiliating, and it was embarrassing, and then it's like, and I can speak for me when I got pregnant with Tyreek, and I had to go to church. I'm like petrified because oh my God, like. I'm pregnant, I'm not married. What they're going to make me do? I'm going to have to get up here. I know I'm going to have to sit down. I think I sat my own self down at that time. But it was just the fear of, like, knowing that this is what's going to happen. Thank God I didn't have to go and apologize in front of nobody's church. But it's just, I just think it was humiliating. Yeah. And my thing is, like, what was the result of it?
Sure.
Like Jamel said, like let's have a conversation. What can we learn from this? What can we do to help going forward? And it shouldn't just be made for punishment. Because when it's all said and done, we already ask God for forgiveness.
Sure.
And if He forgive us, then who the heck is you?
Sure. And again, and this is not an approval or a free pass, like to do what you want to do.
No,
right? Because nobody has the right to sit me down. If they don't sit you down, God will. God has multiple ways of sitting you down. Believe that.
I just think it can be done in a
sitting you down.
A humane way.
Yeah, but again, according to Scripture, if a person is in sin, go to them. And if you come to me and say, "Hey, I see you pregnant," or "Hey, I see you're this," or say, "I heard this," whatever the sin is, can we talk about this for a second? Right? And then if after our conversation, I say, "Hey, you know something? That was wrong with me. Hey, that wasn't me operating the biblical principle. Hey, that was me, being out of order. That was sin."
Right.
And if I acknowledge that and say, "Hey, you know something, God, I confess my sin before you," right? I confess that what I've done was wrong. I confess my sin. Notice I'm not saying forgive. I confess my sin before you, right? Then, you know, I'm good, right? I get it puts me in my eyes back in right standing with God. Again, it puts me in my eyes back in right standing with God. Right. Because sin does.
Right, and we're not just talking about people that get pregnant. I'm just using that as an example because I've seen it over years of and seeing it as experience. But it's like you said, other things that you do that you may not see, but you know. Yeah, it's like I don't see it, but I know that you're doing it. Then what's the difference? Why you don't get sat on down?
Yeah, sin is sin. People have said, okay, well, as one sin is greater. No, I think sin is sin. Sin is sin. Sin isn't just sex outside of marriage. Sin isn't just lying. Do you know what sin is? It's missing the mark. So when God tells you, hey, Jamal, I need you to go up. I need you to go to speak to that lady. If you didn't go speak to that lady, my dear friend, you have just sinned. Right? Sin is sin. We often think of sin as some type of physical activity. Sin is anything willful deviation from what God has told and is telling you to do. So if God told you to leave that guy alone and you still with the guy, you're in sin. If God told you to walk away from them and you didn't, you in sin, right?
That's a good. No, they did not. No, Lydia, they did not.
So if the man gets someone pregnant out of wedlock, does he get shut down?
No.
Oh no, absolutely.
Because you can't see it. No. Not at all.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't. Well, I haven't seen it. I can't say that it doesn't happen, but I have not seen it in all the years of my living. And my thing is like everybody. Yes, we want you to be accountable. You know, you can't just do any and everything. And I just think if, like we said, if you are a witness 2 or 3 as a leader, have a conversation with that person and try to get that thing, situation right.
Get it right. There's a difference and we got to move on. But I think there's a difference. Some of you may disagree, but I think there's a difference between sinning versus living a sinful life. Right? I think we all go to mess up. Right? I think we all go to slip. We all go to, miss the mark at some point in our lives. All have sin, right? But I think the issue is when you are habitual in the sin of your choosing, and that sin no longer convicts you. Right? Yeah. So if your willful deviation for what you know is true and for what God is telling you no longer convicts you to do better, then I think that's where the real problem lies. Because God gave us flesh, so He was aware that we would be sin. The flesh is not subject to the law of God, neither can it be. Right? So He knew that we were error. The problem is when we live in error. I think that's where the issue comes in. And then you no longer have any conviction that what you are doing is wrong. Right. And when that happens, you cannot confess your sin because in your eyes, there is no sin to confess. Right. And that's dangerous. And I think when it gets to that point, I think that's when the spiritual leader can say, hey, I need to have a conversation with you. Because now you have made this a lifestyle as opposed to an occurrence. And that's just me. The end. Family, we need to talk about this.
Oh yeah.
For a few moments, but I think it's necessary. We're going to talk about the F word. The F word.
And it's not what y'all was thinking either.
The F word. Because a lot of people have an issue with the F word.
And that F word is forgiveness. Forgiveness.
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah. So what is the correlation between an apology and forgiveness?
Yeah. Something happened this week and me and my wife started, it sparked this conversation. We got into a little debate discussion. Is there a connection, as you said, between an apology and forgiveness?
And an apology can be authentic and it can be unauthentic.
Yeah.
In order for an apology to be authentic, it should be an admission of wrong.
Correct.
Meaning, if I'm apologizing to you, I'm admitting I did wrong and specify what I did wrong to you.
Yeah. I agree. Because you have a lot of people that apologize and you have they aren't clear as to what they are apologizing for. And for me, is an apology without specificity, to me, is a cop-out.
I'm sorry, Lydia's comment just took me out. I'm
What she
sorry.
said? That's not the F word I was thinking. Maybe I need to reset.
That just took me out. I'm sorry. Repeat what you just said.
I think an apology without some type of specificity is a cop-out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
You gotta, like, it's an admission. So the thing about an authentic apology is an admission of wrong, right?
Of wrong.
And an understanding that the offense has cost the other person something. And then a commitment to try to do better. I think that's what the authentic apology is. And the thing is, can there be reconciliation without an authentic apology?
Yeah, and again, so reconciliation is when two parties. Tammy McKnight, please explain what you said. Okay, reconciliation is when there is a restoration of friendly relation. Reconciliation is when two people, two individuals, or groups come back together, back into friendly relationship after there has been some type of argument and or disagreement. Can there be reconciliation without an apology? What do you think? Are you able to reconcile? What happened? No. Are you able to come back in friendly relation with someone, something, or some group if there has no been an authentic apology, which is not only an admission of wrong, but an admission of some type of specificity?
Oh, Tammy, we're gonna definitely get to that. If I hurt you, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, it's Tammy. Oh yeah.
So again, for folks, are you able to reconcile with somebody if there has been no apology?
I don't think, for me, because it's been situations where you know that there's something. Like, you hurt me or I may have hurt you. This is just an example. And then we try to act like it didn't happen. It's still in the back of your mind. So it's just like the relationship will never be the same because whatever happened did not get addressed and resolved. And then at that point, it's probably been too long and too much has happened that you probably can't even get there again. But so I personally think you cannot reconcile without an apology.
And again, an authentic apology includes an admission of guilt, because there are inauthentic apologies, right? And an inauthentic apology is when you are apologizing when you know you have done nothing wrong, and it is just to make things better for the other person and the relationship.
Right.
Like, it's just saying, okay, I'm sorry, but what you sorry for?
Right. Or I think an inauthentic one, and I think and not for nothing, not to be picking on church, but we've done this in church. Somebody got an attitude with you. Mm-hmm. You have no clue as to why. They're not saying anything. They just got a funky disposition to you, walking by you, not speaking, yada, yada, yada. And then for you to keep the peace and just to try to just make things better, I'm going to you and be like, if I apologize to you, I apologize if I've offended you or if I hurt you or said anything. When you know in your heart, I ain't said nothing to you, I ain't did nothing to you. Yeah. That's just the person you are. Mm. And it's like, at that point, now everything is good because I apologize for something that I had no idea what I'm apologizing for, or to make you feel better
You see,
about you.
But that's not an apology. I'll say this: you cannot say sorry if you are unaware of what your offense cost you.
Yeah.
Again, you cannot say sorry if you are unaware of what your offense has cost me or what your offense has done to me. And I could bring up Jesus, right? Because it is impossible for you to reconcile with Christ, right? Or rather, should I say, accept the reconciliation that has been done. It is impossible for you to be saved if there is no acknowledgement that, hey, Lord, you died so that I can live. Right. And so I think there has to be don't say sorry if you are unaware of what your offense has done towards me. Because my question is, what you're sorry for? What are you sorry for?
So my question to you is then how, so if I did something to you, right? And I come to apologize to you. But and although I know I did wrong to you, how do I know the extent of whatever I did cost you?
Yeah. I think that's the issue. Right? Because it is very well possible for you to not know exactly what price that person paid because of your offense. It is impossible sometimes to know that. But I think that is one of the major issues. What she said?
She said she's apologized to folks and didn't know what the problem was. And you probably did it just because you wanted to just, make peace and, just clear the air when you don't know. Like, I didn't do anything to you. Yeah. But apparently you mad at me about something, or you could just be that type of person in general. Yeah. Where you just rude and mean and you get in your ways and, you walk by, don't speak, and that's just how you is. And then you make people feel like they did something to you. Because I know somebody who's like that. And then you go, oh, I'm sorry. And then it's all hunky, all good. Until the next time you feel that way.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, and I think we all need to do better with this, because there are some people that you need to apologize to, right? And I think when you apologize to that individual, everybody has somebody they need to say sorry to, right? And I think when you apologize to that individual, I think it is only right, if you can. Some people may not want to hear you, right? And some people may not want to accept your apology, right? But I think if you can, I think you need to hear them. You need to hear what your offense has done to them. Because all of us have been offended in life. All of us have been offended by someone. And if we're honest, at the core, we want that person to know, this is what you did to me. This is the hurt that you inflicted upon my life, right? And I think sometimes when a person apologizes, if that apology is just to move them forward, then I think that's not sincere. Because again, the apology now is more about you than it is the individual. I'm apologizing because I want to be done with you. I'm apologizing because I don't want to fess up to what I did. So I'm going to just say, hey, you know something? I'm just sorry. Right? Because acknowledging what you did now makes you look at yourself. Like, acknowledging what you did now puts the onus on you to be like, hey, you know something? There's some things about my life I need to fix. And most people don't want to go down that road. And so we give these empty apologies. And that's just...
Well, they say, when you apologize, you tell them they did something to you, like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry you
feel that way.
Right,
so
wait, we got some questions here. How do you know if you truly forgive someone? We're gonna get there. We're gonna get to that answer, Kamisha.
Let's get to it now, right? So how does an apology relate to forgiveness? If the apology is the offender talking to the victim, right? An apology is when the offender talks to the victim. I have offended you. I'm apologizing for what I've done I'm apologizing for the pain that I have inflicted upon your life.
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness is when the victim responds to the offender to say, thank you for apologizing, right? Because again, I think that it's difficult for there to be forgiveness. It's difficult for there to be forgiveness without apology. But some of us have to forgive even if there is no apology. And that's when we need God, right? It's difficult to forgive without an apology. Some people will never apologize. And you've got to allow God to minister to you so that you can forgive them. Because they may never know the impact of what they did in your life, right?
And I think it's possible to accept an apology and not forgive.
Oh, it's very possible to accept an apology.
It's like, so if you did something to me, it's like, and I say, oh, you apologize. Oh, thank you for your apology. But in that moment or in that right now moment, I may not be like, okay, I accept your apology and I forgive you. It ain't that quick for me. Because whatever you did to me really hurt me and affected me. It's not gonna be going in the blink of an eye just because you say you sorry.
Yeah, but here's the issue: is that forgiveness? No, because you really know Kamisha, and anyone that has this question, you really know that you have forgiven someone. Here it is when you release them from the offense they have done towards you. And I'm gonna go deeper. You release them from the wish that how I feel, they feel also. Mm-hmm. You release them from the vengeful disposition you have towards them, or the retribution that you want to dish their way. That's when you really know you've forgiven someone, when you can release them completely. Like, I release you from the offense. I release you from I no longer want to get back at you. I no longer want you to feel how I feel. That's when forgiveness has set in place. You don't forget what they have done, but you have released it away from you so that you can move on. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes when an apology is not there, or it has been an inauthentic apology, God is the only one that can help you forgive an individual who has not apologized authentically to you. Can I say this?
It takes time for that.
We are living in moments and times where authentic apologies are so few. Because everybody has this prideful spirit and nobody wants to admit I was wrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Selfish apologies.
Selfish apologies. You are saying sorry to me so that you can move on. Better. Because if the truth be told, you don't give a hoot and any about me.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just woo-wee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because so many people, it's like we can accept the acknowledgement that of wrong. Like, I can accept that you acknowledge that you did wrong. But forgiveness is when I don't want you to feel the pain that I feel. Mm-hmm. I'm releasing you from the debt. Mm-hmm. I'm releasing you from the retribution and the revenge that I really want to inflict. I really want to inflict upon you. Mm-hmm. I'm letting it go. I'm no longer holding it against you.
And I also think like when you forgive, and it's like, or if you see that person, or you even hear the person's name, or the effect of that is not from whence it came. Like originally when you saw them, or when you heard their name, or something came up them, it just welled something up inside of you. And you thought you had moved on, but you didn't. I think once you get to a point where, even if they don't apologize, because some people won't.
Some people won't.
Because they don't think they did anything wrong. Or if they did, they're not gonna apologize because the pride won't let them. And then they'll try to act like everything is good when no, heifer, it's not.
And there could be no reconciliation, right? So an apology helps reconciliation. It helps reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
But an apology does not guarantee reconciliation.
Right.
Right? Just because there has been an authentic apology does not mean there will be reconciliation.
Right.
All right. And so many of you may want to, hey, you know something? I need to apologize to them because I missed them. Can I be honest with you? You may have missed your opportunity to be with them. Mm-hmm. It's a possibility. Right? An apology does not mean a guarantee of reconciliation. It helps. It fosters. It's the first step, right? But then you got trust now that you got to deal with, right? Mm-hmm. If reconciliation is re-entering a friendly agreement, there could be no friendship without there being trust.
Right. That trust thing is rough,
right? So you got an apology, you got forgiveness, you got trust, you've got right. You have all of these components that come in for it to be for reconciliation to happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, can it happen? Yes,
absolutely.
But not all the time.
Not all the time. Yeah.
You know, because then you have to think. You know, once trust is gone, it's like you have to rebuild that thing, and then it's just like if you. But the thing is like if you did that to me, that time or in that time, like what's gonna cause you not to do it to me again? It's like, you know, so it's really difficult.
And that's not unforgiveness. That's wisdom to me.
Yeah.
That's wisdom, knowing that I forgive the chair for falling, for breaking when I sat in it. But you best to believe the next time I attempt to sit in that chair, I'm using extreme caution. Because I forgive the chair, but I no longer trust the chair like I did.
Sister Tammy, that you answered her question. I think that's you can have forgiveness.
So what if you don't want any ill
will and you just don't want reconciliation. I think people get those two confused because I can forgive and I can forgive you and move on, but I don't have to reconcile with you. Okay. I don't have to be in relation with you anymore.
Kamisha, we can forgive and not be friends.
Yes.
Please, can you, sister? Please say that louder. Yes. We can forgive, and I can hold no ill will towards you. I can really pray that your bad days turn out good. I can pray that God bless you and God bless you indeed. I pray the Lord's blessings over your life, but I don't want to be friends with you no more because I don't trust you, or I'm trying to find trust in you, or the season just passed.
Mm-hmm. Or my eyes was closed and now they wide open and I can see you for who you are, and I don't want to be. Yeah. I don't want to be.
And that does not mean you haven't forgiven them.
Yeah.
Because you no longer hold it against them. Mm-hmm. Or you no longer wish ill will towards them. Mm-hmm. You no longer want them to feel how you felt. Mm-hmm. Right? And again, anybody that's dealing with an apology, anybody that's dealing with harboring unforgiveness, from experience, hear me, fam, from experience, you can't do this without God. I'm telling you what I know.
Nah.
You cannot do this without God. You cannot heal your own heart. Mm-mm. Only God can. You cannot heal your own heart. Only God can. Only God can. And so whoever you are, ask God to help you forgive so that you can move forward with your life. Because if not, speaking from experience, you will spend time thinking about the offense and not moving forward. Fam, listen to me. Ask God to help you forgive genuinely and still love them and still pray for them and still wish God's best over their lives.
Oh yeah.
But you move on with your life. And if anybody tells you that's not God, that is untrue. It is untrue. Ask God to help you forgive.
Ask God to help you forgive. It's because it's a process. You can't
because if you don't forgive, the Bible says your heavenly Father will not forgive you. And so it's like I want to be in right standing with God, and I don't want what they did to me to impact me from moving forward in God's blessings for my life. And so, what is more important at this moment? Holding on to the offense or moving forward within your life with God's blessings and His favor that will overshadow you? What's more important at the moment? What's more important?
And I think it is true. Like God is gonna be the one to help you, because depending on what it is, because sometimes people can really hurt you really bad. That thing could take a long time. And we may want it to be quick. Oh God, please, please. And that's why we'll say, okay, yeah, I forgive them. And then something will happen, or you will see them, and then it's just like, bam. And then you'll realize, oh no, I ain't there yet. Trust me, y'all, I know, because I was dealing with that. With I thought I had moved on. I thought I forgave, but when I heard their names, saw them, the level of anger that I still got up in me, that welled up in me when I saw them, heard them, anybody mention. But it's like I thought I was there and I wasn't. But with God's help, I'm slowly moving in the right direction. Absolutely. So I'm just being transparent. I'm moving in the right direction with that.
Good.
I don't get as angry. I don't get as pissed. I don't be wanting to fly their head. No, I don't want. I'm not there anymore. I'm more calmer now, and to hear about the person talk, it's not as bad now. I deal with it much better. So I think I'm on the road to totally forgive it, even without the apology.
And I think all of us, and we got to go. We are way over time, right? But I think all of us will have moments like that. Jesus had a moment like that. Like he's literally on the course. In his mind, I can imagine he's thinking, like, Negroes, I'm dying for y'all. Like, I'm doing this so that y'all can live. You know what I'm saying? And just the hurt and the ridicule and the spits and the mockery, like all of these things that it's crazy, because it's crazy. Jesus asked the Father to forgive the individuals that were persecuting him, even though those individuals had to persecute Jesus so that Jesus can get to the finish line, die, and be raised up 3 days later. And so it's very possible, family, in your life for you to be dealing with something that would be the hardest thing for you to give somebody. But could it be that it's God's design that they do this so that you can get to where God wants you? And if I can be honest, that's how I overcame unforgiveness. I kept telling myself, and God kept telling me, it had to happen. It had to happen. That was the only way I was able to be like, hey, you good, buddy? We good. Because it had to happen. And so I forgive you for what you did, because I know that all things work together. And you had to do that to me so that I can get where I am. And that is the only way. And I kept telling you, that is the only way I was able to release the offense, because I knew that somehow in the hurt and pain, God was working things out for my good. Right. And somebody needs to know that today. That even in the hurt, the pain of what somebody did to you, it's hurtful. It really hurts. But God is working that out for your good. And perhaps God is allowing them to do this to you so that you can get to a place where God wants you to be. And when you look back, you can say, it was good that I was afflicted. Oh my, it was good that I was afflicted so that I might know his. It was good that I went through it.
Mhm.
Because look at where I am now.
Look at
Let go, let God, and
let go.
it had to happen.
Yep.
It had to happen, and that helps forgiveness. When
Mhm.
you see God in, again, you can't forgive without God.
Right.
When you see trauma through the lens of Christ, it helps you forgive and move on. It had to happen so that God could get the glory. All hearts and minds are clear.
Yes. So this was fun, y'all. Like, I love coming on with y'all. So yeah, any last minute questions, concerns?
Preguntas?
So yeah, so we wanted to just touch on that because we thought that was important. Like we had a great conversation about it, so we figured we'll bring it here. Y'all, me and Jamel, we have some really great conversations in our car.
We're gonna do that with them. We're gonna do like PB in the car. The stuff we talk about in the car be like, what? Family, once again, tomorrow at 7 p.m. I am super excited to share with you what God has given me to share on Discipleship University. It is the place of exchanges version of Bible study. Discipleship University, 7 to 8 p.m. At 7:45, we are going to answer your question. And so if you have any question, send us a DM or you can text the number 855-997-3031. Again, any question you have and you want answered, 855-997-3031. At the end, 15 minutes to the end, we are going to answer your questions every single time that we have Discipleship University tomorrow, 7 p.m., 2818 Martin Pike. We are in the building. And we will also be streaming only on the Discipleship University group page on Facebook. Set your alarm clocks. You have no idea how excited I am to share with you 2 words God gave me that I believe is going to completely alter your destiny. Meet me tomorrow.
Thank y'all for joining. It's been real. Y'all have a good night. We love y'all. Take care.
And by the way, COVID is still out there.
What the?
COVID is real.
What the hell?
Wear a mask. Wear a mask.
Wear a mask and wash your dudes.
She ain't